welcome. This is the pre-stream bit. I'm not live yet. Righty. Let's do some talking, kids. It's going to be a weird stream today where I'm not going to be playing anything in particular. We're going to talk through 40k 9th edition, also known as New 40k. I don't think they're actually officially calling it 9th ed. I don't think any of the books or anything that we've seen says 9th ed. Who is here? Let's have a little roll call. I've got a bit of an ulcer on my tongue, actually. I didn't realise I had that. I meant to put the pre-stream on, didn't realise I was on the away screen. Hello, Raziel14085. Hello, Smuggling Rum. Tell me if I'm peeking on my mic at all, by the way, kids, and I'll turn myself down a little bit. Pretty sure books never say what edition they are. Okay, that's fair. Hi. Hello, Yukito Nizaki, Barbara6874. One too many few. Ryuko1993, the forgotten one. Hello. Right. Let's talk 40k. Now, this is going to be up on YouTube as well, so anyone who's watching on YouTube, hello! I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi, on the internet. The Magic the Gathering content creator equivalent of also quite liking Little Toy Soldiers. So, it's the Lactose legend. I know this is all new setups. So my OBS imported everything from my old system with a few things wrong. So I might have to go in and change a few things. My Stream Deck didn't import shit, so that's completely fucked. Like, look, I had like 7 different pages with like sound effects and shit, and now my Stream Deck just has 5 buttons. Yeah. Back to the fucking start. What year is this? 2019? Ugh. So everything's all gone back to how it was. To give some context then, I have played 5 total games of 40k in 8th. I played a load of like really bad half-assed games in 3rd, like 20 years ago, where I didn't really understand and probably got all the rules all wrong. So I am no expert. So if you're watching this to become an expert from an expert, this is not what this is. What this is me going through the rules for the first time. I haven't even looked at them. Talking through some of the stuff that I've collected in terms of information from like YouTube videos myself I've been watching and the general thing on the pulse. I've been checking news updates all day, every day. Today I edited EDH and Chill, recorded for Channel Fireball, recorded for myself and edited that up. So it was a very long day. And in amongst all that I was still checking for 40k updates. So yeah, I'm pretty deep in it, but I'm also a newbie. So just bear that in mind. And chat, I'm going to ask for your help as well. So anyone else who wants to get involved and say, they don't agree with how I'm interpreting stuff. Yes, I was 1 when I first started playing Warhammer. I was literally just like a bubble of cum on the end of my father's penis. Man, I've run at 40k rules since like 5th ed. Okay, we're going to look into rules. Before we start though, let's look at some other stuff as well. So, this is the Warhammer community website. This is where they're announcing and releasing stuff. Let's talk about this real quick. Where the fuck's the Hammerfall pod? Okay, the rules are here. Before we talk about rules though, let me have a look at this. This is the new Hammerfall bunker. Holy fucking shit, would you look at that bad boy. Woo! This is an orbital drop pod that lands without units inside it. Just lands, puts its little legs out, has flamers or heavy bolters, I think, as well. Oh, there you go, you see them there. Maybe not bolters, just bolters. Okay, it looks like a French fancy, a fondant fancy. Right, I'll get a fondant fancy up as well while we're here. Okay, it looks like a fondant fancy, but instead of full of tastiness, it's full of death. Hot lead and bullets. Okay, it's funny because basically Space Marines get all the new shit, it seems. No, I'm in incognito mode, Noble Chili, so it doesn't randomly show you like personal information saved somewhere on our website, right? This way, it doesn't randomly. If I go to gamesworkshop.com where I bought my one of my first boxes like a couple of weeks ago, it doesn't randomly show you my address, for example. So this rocket launcher, I'm almost certain. Look, I'll know more tomorrow because I'm putting together some of my four. Okay, yeah, okay. So, no, I know you're joking. I just wanted you to know what I was on about, what I'm doing. It looks very similar to the Helios rocket launchers that are on top of the Helios Land Raider, which is a Forge World miniature, which is the Land Raider plastic kit with a resin, like super duper rocket launcher on top that doesn't need line of sight and shoots. We have no idea if this needs line of sight yet because we haven't got the full stats for this. We don't have even the full name. It says here, just Hammerfall missile launcher. Has super frag and super crack. For those of you that are new to Warhammer in general, they have two versions of like missiles. Most, even the Eldar missile launchers seem to have this. You have frag and you have crack. Frag is normally a splash damage one. So in 3rd edition, when I used to play as a kid, you got a little blast radius and you could put it over the enemy infantry and shoot loads of them. It was a frag grenade that had like fragments of shrapnel in it, right? Like a flak, almost. And that would splash. It'd have a lower armor pen, so it wouldn't be good against vehicles, but it would hit more units and do more damage to a horde. In this case, it's more hits, 2d6, and it has a blast ability. I haven't got my head around quite around blast yet, but it seems to be better against when units have more units in them. Sorry, when units have more models in them. A unit is a group of soldiers. Models are the individual models. So in the rules it will probably refer to, I mean, notes might be different, but model and unit being two different things. Okay? Yeah, Blast seems bonkers in general. Hopefully we'll learn as we go through the core rules in a moment to understand it. Thank you for the follows. Never played 40k, never seen 40k. Don't have 40k, but it's not like I've got anything better to do. Hello, Forgotten One. Welcome, welcome. Don't forget, kids, if you like the content, hit me with the Amazon Primes. If you've got Amazon Prime and you haven't given to a content creator yet, hit the subscribe button above my head. It's free for Amazon Prime. Or you can subscribe for normal. Or the best way to get involved is to get involved with the Patreon. It renews every single month. For $2 a month, you can get involved with the Discord. And on the Discord, I've been playing a bit of Warhammer 40k via Tabletop Sim with Ape, who's in the chat. One of my biggest? He's huge, not really. He's a baby. But one of my larger patrons. So 2d6 damage at Blast. We'll figure out how Blast works shortly when we go through the core rules. And then Crack missiles, to go back to that point, Crack missiles have a higher strength. This S stat is strength. That means it's got a higher impact, it makes it easier to wound a single target as opposed to the lower strength splash damage. The AP is armor penetration. So when your opponent makes a roll, if they've got on a 3-up, a 3+ save on a d6 to not take a wound, AP2 minuses 2 from that. So another on 5-up, which means that they have statistically a 33% more chance to get wounded. So you've got splash damage, which is less likely to wound and lower armor penetration. We've got a singular, like thinner almost, think of it this way, a thinner penetrating rocket to damage like heavy artillery or vehicles and shit. Legs a cube with a dreaded stipulation wheel. What's this? What's that, McElroy? What's that, McElroy? The stipulation wheel will be... that video will be up on Saturday. For YouTube, I've just had Mono Red 8 Doll go up. Didn't have much success with that. Yesterday was Warhammer Wednesday. Tuesday was the 7-drop tribal, which was fun. EDH and Chill goes up tomorrow, which is myself, John, Rob, and Olivia Gober Hicks. Gober Hicks, I should start using her name properly. It's probably more respectful that way. Saturday will be the stream VOD from Monday, which will be the stipulation wheel cube draft, and then Sunday will be this VOD. And if you're watching this now and you want to watch any of that stuff, it's all available on the YouTube channel. He'll figure out in a minute. What, McKellar? What are you on about? What the fuck are you on about? Oh, has Twitch not changed the name of the thing? It should have done. It should have done. Hello, TPZ. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Weird. New computer, more issues, but less issues than what I was having the other night when my webcam was flickering, right? For every issue that is fixed, a new one will rear its head. It's like the Hydra. You cut one of the heads off, it's like... Well, not just that. It grows a second head. Stream Manager. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Talking new 40k. Done. Cool. Cool. So, this is a French fancy that has bolt guns, or flamers, and this huge fucking rocket launcher on top. What we see here as well are the Blade Guard veterans, who are these like Storm Shield, I think, power sword. We'll soon find out when the units get released. This is the Blade Guard Ancient. Back here is a new turret. I can't remember what it's called. It's in one of the videos. And then we've got the Eradicators, who just look fucking broken as well. The Eradicator profile seems ridiculous. Played 4K for the first time last weekend, and while I was there, someone told me I looked like PleasantKenobi. What? Sick. Sick. Yeah, I've played, like I said, on Tabletop Simulator. I'm getting 2 games in this weekend. Much probably to my wife's disgust. I was playing on the Friday at a friend's house and this Sunday on another friend's house. And we're playing a garden hammer on a table in the garden with our things. Power swords with puzzles. Oh, they mastercrafted power swords. More Gladiator content if you sure can. I actually really enjoy Gladiator. There will be more Gladiator content for definite, White Lotus 88888. I've been out of the loop since 4th edition, so not sure what the differences are between the new rules and the latest ones. We're about to find out. Right. So that's this. And then they've showed this off, which is a big rock with metal inside it. It's some sort... I assume it's this, but for the Necrons. Theirs apparently can reposition. It says around here somewhere about reteleportation. What does it say? Each convergence of Dominion consists of 3 star stellae. They're the big old opulence types things. Wow, so there's 3. You need 3 of them. So I bet they sell them individually at like £85. That'd be pretty funny. Which is seriously durable and armed with impressively deadly transdimensional abductors. Even better, they bolster units from your dynasty that are nearby, and with the help of a friendly cryptech, can perform translocation protocols to redeploy around the battlefield. Yeah. These are great. I don't really know exactly what they do. I think they're going to fire lasers, right? They're going to transport around and buff your units. They're going to transport around and fire lasers, or maybe a bit of both. But I think we're getting these sort of fortification things added for each of the races. Obviously, with the Indomitus box that's coming on the 25th. It is the 25th, right? That is a Saturday. Yeah. Obviously, it's Necrons versus Space Marines. I'm looking forward to seeing what the other races get of these, if they do. Again, I'm relatively new to this hobby, so please correct me if it's normally like the focus races get their stuff and then the other factions get fucked. Whilst we're looking at that as well. Oh god, you get to post your grave in the field. What else did they show? So, just so you know, the 11th is pre-order day. You can pre-order from the 11th. My local stores are at pre-orders. They haven't officially said it, but I saw a video earlier today which was talking about how the price listings for America have been leaked for the game stores at $200, and people are pricing that around $120 to $140 in England, which is good because over the last week, everyone's estimations of what this box was going to be went up and up and up and up, and I was like, so it started out everyone was saying, oh, if it's £120. With all these models, all these special units and shit, then it's going to be super duper value. And then people start going fucking wild with how expensive it's going to get. I've already got some of my plans, so I will probably build all the Necrons and I might do them in bronze, but they're kind of bronze here actually. I don't know. I want to do a different metallic colours to the rest. I want to do it in a really speed paint way. I don't want to spend too much time on them. So again, the blades might even just be metallic, or maybe I should do energy wise. With the Marines, obviously I'm going to be doing Blood Angels. I've got a new Primaris Chaplain, Judicar. I don't know what it does yet, but it looks fucking sick. These Assault Intercessors are going to be Death Company. Because Blood Angels get to take Death Company Intercessors as a troop choice. So these Assault Intercessors will become Death Company Intercessors. Which means Chainsword and Pistol, Black Armour, 2 wounds each. 2 attacks, I think, for Death Company Intercessors. I would have to check. Warhammer. Is it against the rules to look at Warhammer like during content? Would G-Dub get annoyed at me? Death Company Intercessors. So these guys have 2 attacks, 2 wounds, leadership 7, save 3+, 3/3. So they're basically normal Death Company with an extra wound essentially. At similar points levels. Just the extra wounds makes them durable. Does anyone know if you can use old models that changed? I have 2 Chaos Dreadnoughts. Can I use them as help boots? Yes, you can. I mean, to be honest, it depends on who you're playing with, what you can do. Like, you can get a lot of third-party models. I won't be getting third-party models because I still want to be able to go to a GW store or Warhammer World and play. And apparently, if you want to do that, you can't really have third-party stuff. I don't mean third-party models. I mean like even just I was looking at third-party heads to customize a squad, and my friend was like, "If you want to play in the Games Workshop place, you can't do that." I was like, "Okay," but you can do that if your friends are up for it. They can do that. Thank you, Necrofriend. That's my army builder salute. I don't fucking know. So yeah, but you can use the old models definitely. I bought a load of like cheap metal minis off of eBay to play with because I like all the other stuff. Remember, GW doesn't run its own tournaments, sure, but they have their own environments to play in, like the stores and Warhammer World and stuff. But yeah, the tournaments are normally run by third parties and stuff. I don't know what the third parties think of playing non-GW stuff. The neck bearding has begun, says Skyward Fire Games. Convinced this hobby is worth our time. Pretty sure as long as it's GW mini and it's on the right basis, you can use it at conversion at stores. Yeah, but so what a couple of my friends said was that if it's evidently that you're like buying third-party parts, they wouldn't be happy. I guess if your third-party parts are mixed in enough that you can't really tell, then people probably wouldn't mind. T. Riley, 2 months, let's go! And Organ246, thank you for the Twitch Prime and subs, my friends. And the tier 1, thank you. Cardboard. So back in the day, GW used to allow you or encourage you to build your own vehicles out of like scrap and shit. Like that was a thing. There was articles in White Dwarf telling you how to make a fucking tank from a deodorant can. Not a can, but a roll-on deodorant, which is fucking weird. I just DM'd you about the pricing. Thank you, Mr. Shy. If anyone's looking for some Warhammer content, by the way, that Mr. Shy has been a delight in my feed. Yeah, I've just been talking about that. So, yeah. Just spoke about that a moment ago. Yes, people should be following him. It's some good shit. Oh, Men11 just gifted a tier 1 sub to Sushi. Hello, Sushi. Hello, Men11. Thank you, my friends. Welcome. We're on a hype train. Oh, yes. I'm a fucking noob. I don't know, you seem to be like, that's the thing, I'm such a fucking scrub myself. I don't really give a shit if people are noobs. I think it's better that we're noobs. It's more fun that way. Ape has smashed me in 3 games of 40k, and I've been a salty little bastard when it's been happening because I've made mistakes out of them. Like in deployment, I fucked up my deployment at least 2 of the games really badly, and it fucked the whole game up for me. Unforgiving in some ways, but actually afterwards I was like, you know what, I really enjoyed this. Hey, so I'm not really sold on 40k, but just want to say I really love re-introduced stuff. Thank you, Kappa. The Kappa, should I say? As in, like the trouser brand or the sports brand. Don't worry, there will be more Magic content. That obviously every Monday night's the Magic stream, and I had some modern go up today. Got some EDH going up tomorrow. There will always be Magic content on this channel because I love Magic, even when Wizards of the Coast are trying their fucking hardest to make it a difficult game to play. As soon as I get a job, I'm going to start trying out 40k, but I don't know if I can afford it right now. That's perfectly fair, Sushi. The hobby isn't cheap. I'd say it's marginally dearer than Magic to get into, but it's cheaper than to maintain because, for example, you don't have rotation. Like new units come out, new models come out from the looks of things that obviously make other things not as good. Like all the dreadnoughts that I'm picking up apparently aren't that good. But you don't have like your whole fucking deck rotate out, for example. White Lotus 8888 asks, is it possible that any of your garden games will be recorded or any of your online games? So I would love to make some tabletop simulator videos because it would be so easy to get that onto that footage onto my hard drive, fuck about with it, meme with it. You can flip the table mid-game and then reset it, so that could be really fun. All sorts of dumb shit. However, I would like to not immediately burn any bridges that might build between me and, I don't know, companies that sell the models or the company that makes the game. For example, Tabletop Simulator is basically a very weird thing in that it is the only way to play Warhammer right now, but it is categorically built upon the back of intellectual property theft. Like, you can't argue against it. So I would never encourage it over the real thing, and I'm going to play the real thing this weekend. But yeah, it just makes it very hard to make content with. Like, it's like asking, I said in the video on Wednesday, it's like asking a Magic content creator to make content on cockatrice or fucking, what were the cockatrice equivalents back in the day? You know, that sort of shit. Like, the only people that do that are the ones who, content creators are already ostracized from the community anyway because they're pieces of shit, you know? Excuse me. Paul Hammer is great. Use the rules that make all the minis and terrains from paper card. I mean, you can do that. If you play with your friends, you don't need to have the models necessarily. If people are looking to get into tabletop sim, and again, I'm not endorsing it over the full game, but tabletop sim is currently on sale on Steam for like £7, and all the Warhammer models, yeah, they're free on there. So let's catch up with chat. I just don't do as I did and try to build your own apocalypse army. Yeah, what is the apocalypse points total? I guess it's going to change now, but is it 3,000 upwards? Yeah, I've got that and then some now. I've got a bit hammer getting everything I had as a kid and some of the stuff I didn't have as a kid, and I'm going to keep going. I'm loving it, but I've slowed down a bit now because I've got a pile of shame. For those of you who haven't heard this term in the community, a pile of shame is your pile of stuff you haven't finished yet. And I loved the fact that I got to the point where everything I had was glued and primed at the minimum. And now I was getting to a case where they're all tabletop ready, painted, and now I've got a lot of stuff to do again. I've got some conversions, kit bashing to do, where you take two kits, smash them together to make unique units. I'll be posting a lot of that on Instagram. Probably I might even talk about that in an explicit video where I talk about the kit bashing process and what I did on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. And I've also got a Land Raider Helios from Forge World and a Contemptor from Forge World to build. And then obviously Indomitus comes in a few weeks. Thank you all for this hype love. I'm gonna read out the subs when I get to them. I'm just trying to get through the chat. Hornets and Windrunners, should I get Vipers too? Was that too much? Started a mostly so play will be competent with 400 points. Lady Space Patrol, my recommendation would be is to try and get a game in if possible on tabletop sim or in RL in like a garden on a garden table with a map rolled out or whatever. Even like just use random shit for your like scenery. You don't have to have official scenery, right? Get a game in, and that'll give you a feel for what your units do. Because the last thing you want to do, like I found from my playing, I mean, I'm going to build them anyway and paint them and love them because Dreadnoughts, the little chunky boys, are my favourites. But you might end up with units that just aren't good, and you might be fucking annoyed that you've built units that aren't good. So be careful in overindulging. Like I overindulged, but I can get away with it because I can sell some fucking magic cards. I got too much money in that fucking game. So be careful with overindulging and buying too many units that then might end up just sitting on shelves because they're not good enough to play with. Although if you enjoy the look of them enough, just to put them on the field and be like, fuck it, there they are, then don't worry about it. But like I said, try and play it first if you can. There is a spectator camera which allows us for a second perspective, like a top-down camera. If you ever make content, please use that for tabletop sim. Sure. I've already got a feeling with that. Have you played the AdMech game? Also, thanks for hyping up enough to get started on 40k. So, I actually installed the Mechanicus AdMech like turn-based strategy XCOM-esque game yesterday on Steam. But I was so tired I couldn't actually play it. I played a tutorial of Gothic, the Battlefleet Warhammer game, which I didn't get on with, and then went to bed because I was too tired. Meat Space gameplay could be a collection of clips and stills and condensed to a narrated battle report. That's what I'm thinking, Follixt. I would like to approach my heavily edited gameplay from Magic, not from the idea of the whole thing recorded. Fuck that. Abe said, I had a manager at my game workshop be like, hey man, is that the only way you can play it right now, then you do what you got to do. What's Abe talking about? Like, and then, hey, what are you talking about? MTG on Tabletop Sim has been getting by these days. Yeah, the whole of Jumpstart is on Tabletop Sim. It's fucking crazy. Proxy Vintage Match. Isn't it impossible to copyright game rules, so if you change the name of units, etc., shouldn't it be legal? I don't know. Personally, how I see it is that I think they should go out of their way to give... I think they should give away the entire like rule set. Not just core rules, the whole rules for free. And then they can charge you for the extra fluff that comes in the books, because the books are they're gorgeous. They're like the coffee table books you get from Magic, plus an annual, plus all that stuff. They're great. And then you don't need to push the models very hard, because the models are generally fucking awesome, so people will buy them anyway. Like, I think making your game accessible will make people buy units and build stuff. Have you looked into Malefax at all? No, I have not. I don't know nothing about 40k, but Tyranids look sweet. Tyranids are sweet. I'm saying 3,000 for Apocalypse. Yeah. So I've got about 6,000 points now. With the upshift from Indomitus and from 9th edition, I've got well over 6,000 points worth of fucking Blood Angels. And half the units are like, people are like, you can't play Tactical Marines, fuck those. I'm like, but you've got to have one tactical squad. Come on. Yeah, so exactly, you can't really make it on the third-party apps and stuff. Thank you, Stresscasts, for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, One Too Many Few as well. I appreciate it. I was up to 140,000 points at one point. L Coggins, where did you store it all? I'm running out of space. My house is too fucking small. Purple Metal Knight, thank you for the sub. I'm going to catch it right to that. J Vagabond said look, they're looking to teach people on TTS, Tabletop Sim. Also, Ally Vince, I've convinced me to pull out some old minis and get them painted. Just want this. God. So that means 6,000 points in your first month? Yeah, 3k of Guard, 2k of BAs, 1,500 of Chaos Space Marines, and I've been back for 2 years. Yeah, I went pretty ham. I wanted a lot of the stuff I had as a kid. That was the main thing, and things I wasn't allowed as a kid. What happens to the Unbanned Twin song? It didn't annoy John enough for me to keep going with it. I'm planning to bring back a jingle. I need to actually add that to a to-do list that I meant to. My old to-do list was on my old PC. Jingle, question mark. There we go. Thank you, Wantless. Welcome back. One new hype. A bit more of chat and then we'll crack on with reading through these rules. I used to have 3k Orcs, 5k Chaos, 2k Sister Battles, then I moved and sold 2 armies. I mean, that's fair. I'm already... Like, if me and my wife get to move this year, I'm already, like, having heart palpitations about the idea of how I move on my fucking... Not only on my equipment, like the mic and the lights and the computer and stuff, but the fucking minis. Good job, Sushi. Good job. I love it. Majestic Eagle says, so happy you've started playing Warhammer. I've pulled out my MTG to play it for about 2 years. Just got a huge steal on Facebook for 1,500 point up of new Chaos Space Marine stuff for $140. There are good deals out there, just be smart. Yeah, I think that's one of the things people really need to understand is that with eBay and Facebook and like, is Gumtree a market? I've never used it, but like, yeah, eBay and Facebook, you can pick up absolute steals. I've seen people on Facebook trading like the unopened sprues from like a set, like I don't know, the fucking Death Guard from whatever the last box set was, or like half of the Eldar one, the Phoenix one, for like others. They're just trading one for one and shit. It's crazy. Now that I'm done with MTG, thanks Watsy, I might have some spare money for 40k. Yeah. I've seen people say that. I have 2k of Custodians. How many models is that? Like 3? 2.5k of Sisters and 4k of World Bearers. The Demonized, I'm starting Thousand Suns. Sweet. Yeah, the problem with the Eldar needs a fucking... this might be my thing for GW, but like... revamp this range. I was watching Kirioth. Kirioth's a YouTuber that I would recommend. He's very knowledgeable on this topic, it seems. A lot more knowledgeable than I am. Maybe not as charming. But he does range reviews, and I really want to do one for BAs, but in a bit more of a humorous style. And he goes through all the Eldar models in the video that I watched this morning while doing the washing up. And some of those models are like 20 plus years old. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. So Vince needs to know, have you yet felt the pure rapture of casting Wings of Synchronicity on your Librarian Dread and spanking him into combat on turn 1? No, that Mr. Shy. I didn't realise that I wasn't allowed to cast it on my Librarian Dread if I'd already cast it on. I had 2 Librarians in one of the battles on my Mephiston, and I couldn't do it, and then I failed it the second time, I think. No, I really need to do that. Because it seems like the Librarian Dread is just actually the kind of shit out of close combat, which is the case for a lot of the unique village stuff. Right then, let's have a quick look, maybe an in-depth look, at the 40k rules. So, Warhammer 40,000 puts you in command of an army. I should have my voice changer on. An army of mighty warriors and war machines as you battle for supremacy in the grim darkness of the far future. These pages contain the core rules for playing games with your Citadel miniatures and designed to be used with the essential rules that come packaged with your Warhammer 40,000 models. So the essential rules, then, I guess they're referring to the data sheets. So every model that you buy comes with a sheet giving you the stat line for the model. Funny thing is, if you buy a model from like 8 months ago, it might not have the correct stat line if there's been a codex update. Yeah, complicated. Right, rules key. Many sections of basic rules start with a bold and brief title. Sure, these are boxes typically found on pages where a turn of phrase is split into sequences. Sure. This is an example of main rules text. Text will cover it. Sure. After each chunk of rules, there's a red bullet point summary. Yep. Examples. Advanced rules are sectioned off from the main rules. Yep. Top up my water soon. You have more viewers than the official Games Workshop stream. Is there an official Games Workshop stream today? Stop it, you're making me feel important. Is that an official one today? I think I follow the official one, right? No, there's no official one on right now. I think I'm doing... Oh, yes there is. Yes there is. That's a rerun though. Come on. Hang out on hobby rerun. That's not fair. I am thinking of doing some painting on stream as well once I set up a better SLR setup. Right. Okay, basic rules. The rules on these pages contain everything you need to know in order to get your sit-down miniatures collection to wage glorious battle across the war-torn galaxy. The following rules explain how to play a game of Warhammer 40,000. First, select either the only war mission on page 25 or mission pack. You'll find mission packs for open play, match play, and now to play in the Warhammer 40,000 core book. You will then need to muster an army of sit-down miniatures, create a battlefield, and prepare for war. The battle is fought in a series of battle rounds in which each player takes a turn until one player is declared the victor. Core rules, definitions, and concepts. This page contains various rules, terms, and are referred to elsewhere in this rulebook, and give an overview of some key concepts that form the basis of these rules. So we have missions, we have army, we have data sheets, we have key words like infantry, and chapter, and legion, and mark of chaos. Units. A unit is a group of models from the same data sheet. Yep, friendly models, enemy models, friendly units, enemy units. Okay. Right. The most important rule. Any game as detailed and wide-ranging as Warhammer 40,000, there may be times when you are not sure exactly how to resolve a situation that's come up during play. When this happens, have a quick chat with your opponent and apply the solution that makes the most sense to both of you, or seems the most fun. If no single solution presents itself, you and your opponent should roll off, and whoever rolls the highest gets to choose what happens. Then you can get on with fighting. It's... that sounds yeah, it's rule 0, isn't it? I'd be like, let's just look it up for fuck's sake, or find a rule that fits for now. Engagement range is important. Engagement range represents the zone of threat that models present to the enemy. While a model is within 1 inch horizontally and 5 inch vertically of an enemy model, these models are within engagement range of each other. While 2 enemy models are within engagement range of each other, these model units are also within engagement range of each. Whilst 2 enemy models are within engagement range of each other, those models units are also within engagement range of each other. Is that a weird sentence? That's a weird sentence, right? Models cannot be set up within engagement range of enemy models. Yeah, sure. That makes... Well, normally can't be set up within like fucking 9 inches of models, but we'll find out. Engagement range is 1 horizontally, 5 vertically. If I'm in range of you, you're in range of me. Yeah, I get it. I guess just reiterating it in the same sense is very weird. Some models can deploy really close. Is that new? Because I haven't seen much of that in 8th. Yeah, imagine this rolling off in Magic. You'd be like, oh, my counter spell, it will punch you in the dick. And you're like, that's how that works. And you roll and you get a higher number. And you're like, right, get your dick out and just punch him in the head. Not sure if this has been said, but earlier today the Warhammer guys said all of you really need other bullet points, and the text above it is for the corner cases. Okay, interesting. We'll go to that for quite a bit of this, I think. Unit coherency has changed, I know that much. So unit has more than one model, must be set up. I'm not going to read that. That seems like a whole body of nonsense. 2 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically. Each model must be in unit coherency with one other model from its own unit. While units have 6 models, so that's 6 and upwards, so like larger blobs and swarms, each model must be within unit coherency of 2 other models you own. So I've heard stories of a 30-man unit being a conga line from a command unit to like an objective, and then they all get the buff from the command unit because you only have to have one model within the unit close to the commander, and they all get the +1 to shoot or the reroll hits and stuff, which is... Yeah, there we go. Conga lines are bullshit. Yep. Fucking mad. Absolutely mad. Terrain features. The scenery on a battlefield can be represented by models from the Warhammer 40,000 range. Full stop. Well, The scenery I just bought is not from your range. Sorry, guys. These models are called terrain features to differentiate them from the models that make up any army. Terrain features are set up on the battlefield before the battle begins. You can find more about terrain in the core book. Okay. So this isn't going to give us any terrain rules, because I know the new terrain rules are kind of confusing. And if the mission you're playing instructs you otherwise, you should feel free to create an existing battlefield using any terrain features from your collection that you wish. In general, we recommend having one feature in the battlefield for every 12 by 12 area rounding up. Don't worry if your battlefield doesn't match these requirements, but keep in mind that playing on a battlefield that's either a barren wasteland or filled to or overflowing with terrain. Yeah, sure, that's just a fucking top tip. Hello, Karnak, and welcome. Yeah, we're talking for the new Warhammer ship, my friend. Yeah, I mean, Squid with Tentacle, sure, but A, this isn't musket era warfare, and B, that would have been for a reason. This was so that you can get a buff from another unit and you put it fucking 30 inches up the board. It was dumb as shit. Distances are measured in inches. If a model does not have a base, such as is the case with many vehicles, measure to the closest point on any part of that model. This is called measuring to the model's hull. You can measure distances whenever you wish. If a rule refers to the closest unit or model and two or more are equidistant, the player who's controlling the unit that is using the rule in question selects which unit is closest for the purpose of resolving that rule. Ooh! Okay, was that the same for 8th? I didn't know that. Because if that was the same for 8th, then yeah, that's interesting for like characters and shit. Because for those of you who don't know, who are looking to learn along with me, a lot of characters, if not all characters, have this rule. Well, the characters have a trait. A character is like a named character. And also, captains, lieutenants, HQ units tend to have the character keyword. If to represent the humdrum, I mean, it might be different in 9th, but we'll find out soon. The humdrum of combat and trying to like find your target, you can't shoot a character if it is not the closest unit to you. So they get padded out and they survive just by virtue of having like a cluster of people, units in front of them. I mean, yeah, you say it's European, but like the UK is a clusterfuck of what we use to measure stuff. Thanks, Leo1. I appreciate it, my friend. I hope people are enjoying it and getting involved as well. Did I ever play Fire Team? Fire Team is that Fire? I'm thinking of Fire Warrior, the old Tau game for the PS2. Within and wholly within. If rules say it applies within a certain distance, it applies at any distance. I'm just going to read the bullet points. Model within any part of model's base. Model wholly within every part of model. Unit within any model. Yeah, okay, cool. That's kind of self-explanatory. Sometimes you may find that a particular terrain feature makes it hard for you to place a model exactly where you want. If you delicately balance a model in place, it is very likely to fall as soon as someone nudges the table, leaving your painted model damaged or even broken. That'd give you a fucking heart attack. In cases like this, provided it's still physically possible to place the models in the desired location, you may find it helps to leave a model in a safe position, as long as both players agree to know its actual location. Yeah, that was the same in 8th. Dice are d6. Yeah, d3 is a d6 divided by 2, rounding up. All modifiers are cumulative. All modifiers, if any, to a dice roll are cumulative. You must apply all division modifiers before applying all multiplication modifiers. Before... Math hammer! And before applying all additions, then all subtractions. So, divides before multiply, pluses before subtractions. Is that the same in algebra? Is anyone a math nerd here? Round any fractions up after applying all modifiers. A dice roll can be modified above its maximum possible value. For example, a d6 roll can be modified above 6, but it can never be modified below 1. If after all modifiers have been applied, a dice roll would be less than 1, it just counts as 1. Bed mass, that's it. Brackets equal. Is that what brackets equals divides, multiplies, additions, subtractions? Bed mass, yeah. Wow, we got bed mass, bod mass, PEMDAS, bid mass. Fucking hell. Chat. You're making it more confusing. Come off it. Rerolls. Some rules allow you to reroll a dice roll, which means you get to roll some or all of the dice again. If a rule allows you to reroll a dice roll that was made by adding several dice together, 2d6, 3d6, etc., then unless otherwise stated, you must reroll all of those dice again. If a rule allows you to reroll specific dice results, only those dice can be rerolled. If a rule allows you to reroll a specific dice result, but the result is obtained by having a d6, such as when rolling a d3, use the value of the halved roll to determine if it can be re-rolled, not the value of the original d6. For example, if a rule says you re-roll results of 1, you roll a d3, you would re-roll if the d6 rolled a 1 or a 2, which is then half. Okay, that's a good clarification. You can never re-roll dice more than once, and re-rolls happen before modifiers, if any are applied. Rules that refer to the value of an unmodified dice roll referring to the dice results after any re-rolls. So chat, here's a question for those who played 8th. Could you not command point re-roll a dice that had been re-rolled due to an aura? That's what I want to know. You couldn't 8th, but you can't here. Hello, Smuggling Rum. How are you, mate? Okay. Oh, Major Thompson, you couldn't. You know what? I'm going to literally break to grab some water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Did we come to a consensus then? Burning Pyre, you're saying you don't know what command points are, they scare you. You don't let them scare you. Command points are fucking awesome. I think it's one of the best additions that modern 40k has. And TP's is over there explaining multiplication still. It does appear to be maybe or sometimes. Thank you, Mr. Shy and General for the Twitch Primes, and welcome. So, you can't re-roll a dice that's already been re-rolled. That's a rule now. So re-roll dice means to re-roll dice again. Re-rolls are applied before modifiers. If any, a dice can never be re-rolled more than once. Unmodified dice results of rolls after re-rolls before modifiers. Okay, so re-rolls, for those who are new, a captain. So the Space Marines have captains and lieutenants as two of their ranks for their HQs. If you are within 6, I mean, again, this might be different for ninth, but I'm assuming a lot of this stuff will say the same. If you're within 6 inches of a captain, and you roll to shoot or attack a unit, and you're rolling to hit, because you roll to hit, to wound, and then they get to save. Hit, wound, save. Hit, wound, save. If you roll to hit them, and you roll a 1, you can re-roll once to hit with a captain. If you have a lieutenant nearby, you can re-roll wounds. If you have both of them in combat with you, you're re-rolling 1s on hits and 1s on wounds as well. It's pretty good. Turns out, you can't then spend a CP, a command point, to re-roll one of those dice. Thank you, Karanak, and good luck with the work, my friend. Hit, wound, save, annoying as fuck. What? Hit, wound, save, ignore bodyguard. Yes, there is a feel no pain saves, and there are bodyguards as well, but I mean they're more exceptions, but sure. I mean, knowing their order is good. Annoying. So FNP means feel no pain. Yeah, sorry, I'm with you now, Miss. I know them as feel no pains. A feel no pain save for those of you at home as well who are new. So you rolled a hit. Hello, Alex Dave. You roll to hit, you roll to wound. The opponent rolls to save. Obviously, take into account your AP values that are negative to their saves. They can have invulnerable saves, which means their save doesn't get affected by AP. So if you have like a 2+ invulnerable save because you're a fucking god, I don't know what has that. 3+ because you've got a storm shield, 4+ because you've got an iron halo or whatever it's called. You can ignore AP. So you got hit, wound, save. Then you have feel no pain, which is a general term for disgustingly resilient or like death god or whatever they're called. Different character, different versions of it. Where if they would take a wound, they can choose to roll a dice and try and get above a certain number to ignore that wound. So for Death Company, I think it's 6s. For Mephiston, it's 5s. That's a feel no pain, trying to ignore the wound. And there's another one that people will stuck on the end of it, which is Bodyguard, which I think is when another unit takes the wound instead. So company vets, right? Drukhari, Archons, and Shining Spears have a 2+ invulnerable. I thought the Shining Spear... Oh, it has a 2+ invulnerable against ranged weapons, the Shining Spear one, right? And there are mortal wounds, that's right, Felix. So a mortal wound, which is inflicted via various means, psychic powers, CP deployed abilities and stuff like that. Mortal wounds, or extra stuff from certain guns like sniper rifle and stuff. Mortal wounds ignore your save, or your invuln save, but they don't ignore your feel no pain. Storm should change to be a +1 to your armor save and down to a 4+ invulnerable save. Ugh, that's gonna make my Smash Captain worse. I started doing 40k and I went and watched 18 hours of lore videos. Yeah, that's it, my friend. As long as you're watching my videos, I'm cool with it. I do the YouTube. Hello. My Adeptus Mechanicus can just about get to a 2++ and can get a 3++ with a +1 roll. Ugh. Ugh. Roll-offs. Roll a d6, highest wins. Sequencing. If several rules must be resolved at the same time, the player whose turn it is chooses the order to resolve them. Cool stack, bruh. Hints and tips. Dice rolling. In a game of Warhammer 40k, you and your opponent will be rolling, in some cases re-rolling lots of dice. It is good practice to always make sure your opponent knows what you are rolling dice for and what abilities and rules are in effect that enable you to make any re-rolls. Many gamers roll their dice somewhere on the battlefield, but some roll their dice elsewhere, such as a dice tray. Wherever you roll your dice, make sure you roll the dice where your opponent can see the results too. If your dice is rolled out of bounds, i.e. it's rolled on the battlefield out of the dice tray or ends up on the floor, then it is very common to ignore the result of that dice and roll again. Rolling out of bound dice again doesn't count as having a re-rolled dice. If dice does not lie flat on the battlefield after it's been thrown, it's called a cock's dice. Some players use a house rule that unless a dice is flat after it's been rolled, or unless you can balance another dice on top of a cocked dice without it sliding off, it must be rolled again. It is more common for players to roll the dice again only if they can't be sure of the result. As either case, rolling a cocked dice again doesn't count as having re-rolled the dice. Okay, pretty obvious. Starting strength, half strength, and destroyed units. The number of models a unit has when it is added to your army is known as its starting strength. Throughout the battle, models will suffer damage and be destroyed. When a model is destroyed, it's removed from play. While the number of models in a unit is less than half its starting strength, that unit is said to be below half the strength. When every model in a unit has been destroyed, the unit is said to be destroyed. Okay, they're really clarifying statements. Cool. If a rule is used to split a unit into multiple units during the battle, the starting strength of each individual unit is changed to be equal to the number of models in that unit. So that's combat squads, right? If several units merge together to form a single combined unit during the battle, they add the starting strength for the individual units together to determine the new starting strength. Cool. Some rules will only trigger if an enemy unit has destroyed by you or a model or units from your army. This means the last model in the enemy unit was destroyed by an attack made by a model in your army, or was destroyed because it fled the battlefield, morale, or was destroyed by a mortal wound inflicted by a rule that a model in your army is using, or was destroyed by the result of any other rule that a model in your army is using that explicitly states that the model was outright destroyed. Animals that was destroyed by any other means, not destroyed by you. Okay, just clarifying who gets the points for like stats and stuff. Name, battlefield role, power rating, profiles. Movement, weapon skill, which is what your skill to hit on a close combat attack. Ballistic skill, which is your skill to hit on a ranged attack. Strength, the indicates how physically strong a model is and how likely it is to inflict damage in hand-to-hand combat. Toughness is its resilience to harm. Wounds is how many wounds it can take before it dies. Attacks, how many times it can attack in close quarter combat. leadership, and your save. Some large models, characteristics, changes models lose wound because they have a table. That's vehicles and shit. Composition of war gear. Under strength units, if you do not have enough models to fill a minimum sized unit, you can still include one unit of that type in your army with as many models as you have available. This is known as under strength units. Okay. Weapons. Range. Type. Strength. AP and damage. That's all the same as 8th edition. The range you can shoot, the type which determines how the gun functions and how it performs and what it does, strength is how likely it is to wound, armor penetration is the adjustment to the enemy's save, and the amount of damage it does if not saved. Oof, an Outrider has 4 wounds? Oof! And they're calling chainswords a start. Well, for the Marines, a start these chainswords now. Twin bolt rifle, rapid fire 2. So we get bolted discipline. We get to fire 4 shots. Cool. Yes, Tim, this is the new 9th edition stuff. Heavy bolt pistol. Interesting. Is that what Reavers already had? I can't remember. Damage tables. Modifying characteristics. All characteristics are cumulative. Apply modifiers in the following order. Division. Yeah, okay. Round fractions up. STA and LD can never be modified below 1. Random move characteristics determine a whole unit each time it moves. Other random characteristics determine individually when characteristics required. Characteristics of null can never be modified. Okay, cool. Battle phase. Command phase, movement phase, psychic phase, shooting phase, charge phase, fight phase, morale phase. So it's the same as before, except they've given the additional command phase. PK, help me choose. I can't pick between starting a Necron or a Tau army. Okay, Stim, here we go. Chat, what do you think? What should Stim collect? I'm going to say, here's my 2 bits of advice. Necrons is better if you want to get the Indomitus box and get some value out of that. Tau is better if you don't want to be a basic bitch. Because Necrons is going to be like the default Xenos army now, right? Because, yeah. It's just the default enemy now, right? Can I get some more minis in the background? Yeah, look at all that red sea of blood. Whichever you think is coolest. That's a good shout. Do you like mechs or Terminators more? Okay, Mercurial Vox, you're a Tau player, but you'd go Necrons now. Why? Mercurial Vox, I want to know, why would you change? Mercurial Vox, come on. Because the new sculpts for Necrons are a quantum leap in quality. Oh, okay, so you like the new models. That is completely fair. That makes perfect sense. So. Yeah, Eldar does need an update. Guardians need an update. Rangers need an update. Some of the fucking Aspect Warriors definitely need an update. They updated Banshees last year, I think. So, both players muster strategic resources. Your units maneuver, your psychers use powers, you shoot shit, you run at shit, you fight shit, and then you see if you lose your shit. That is how that works. God, some of the old Tyranno models give me life for how bad they are. I want to do a video which is like 5 best and 5 worst, like pretty separate ones, models of all time. Because the old screaming Carnifex, I can't decide whether that'd be on the 5 best or 5 worst. Because man, that's good. Some rules allow models to do things outside of the phases. When resolving that phase rule, all the rules that normally apply in that phase continue to apply. Phase-specific stratagems cannot be used when resolving out phase rules. Gain 1 CP if the army is battle-forged. Resolve any rules that occur in the command phase and progress. Command phase, you basically is your upkeep. You gain your CP, resolve any rules that matter about the command phase, and then you go on to moving. Movement phase. Select the unit in your army to move. When a unit moves, it can either make a normal move, advance, or remain stationary. Units that within engagement range of any enemy models can either fall back or remain stationary. Select another unit in your army and move. Once all your units have moved, progress to reinforcement step. So that's as is now. Normal move. Move their normal movement speed. Cannot move within engagement range. Engagement range was 1 inch? Or was it more than 1? 1 inch. Cool. That's like normal then. Just gave it a name. That's the same in 8th, but they gave it a name now. When a unit advances, roll a d6, add it to your movement. Units that advance can't shoot or charge, same as before. Remain stationary, models can't move this phase. Fall back. Models move their movement. They can't charge this turn. If they fall back, they cannot shoot or manifest psychic powers this turn unless they are Titanic. Yeah, Gunton, you did say it was important, but surely that's no different to how it is now in 8th, right? Like, you can't move within 1 inch of an enemy unit. Right? Am I wrong? I'm not sure. Chat's gone very quiet as I said that. Yep, psychic powers have been in it for a while, buddy. So they're definitely in 8th. Some units have a rule that allows them to start on the battle on a location other than the battlefield. Units that use such rules are called reinforcements, and they will arrive later in the game. Yeah, exactly. Diagnosis Ninja. God, I love the 2nd edition Gretchens from the starter set. I love the Dreadnought you get in the starter set because it's just a piece of card. It's so funny. It's so funny. So yeah, I played a little bit of 2nd edition when I was quite young. Like, I had some of the Gretchens, the Orc Warriors, the bad Tactical Marines, and the shit Orc Dread. Yeah, Squidward, you're probably right. But thank you for coming along and learning with me. Yeah, 2nd edition was like fucking ridiculously complicated, right? Again, I was too young to really remember it. Units that start the battle on a location other than the battlefield are considered reinforcement units. Set up your reinforcement units one at a time as described by the rules that let them start the battle on locations other than the battlefield. Reinforcement units cannot make a normal move and advance, fall back, or remain stationary this turn. They cannot make any of these actions, including remain stationary. I get that that's like a move now, but that's just kind of dumb. Any reinforcements, they count as having moved. Any, yeah. If they haven't been set up at the end of the game, they're destroyed. Moving over terrain. Models can move freely over terrain features 1 inch or less in height. Models cannot move through taller terrain features but can climb up and down them. A model can be moved in terrain features that are 1 inch or less in height if they were not there. Any vertical distances up and down or that should make up to reverse terrain features ignored. A model can be moved vertically in order to climb up, down, or any other terrain feature that any higher than this, counting the vertical distance up and down as parts of the move. Models cannot finish any kind of move mid-climb. It's not possible to end the move as a result. That move can't be made. Flying models can move over other models that they make a normal move or advance when they fly or when they fall back. Flying models ignore vertical distance when they make a normal move and advance or when they fall back. Cool. Transport capacity. Maximum number of models that can embark with transport units can start the battle embarked on transport. Sweet. Got to fill up my rhinos, razorbacks and land raiders. Are people really excited about templates? If a unit makes a normal move, an advance, or it falls back, and every model in that unit ends that move within 3 inches of a friendly transport model, they can embark within it. Cool, so 3 inches to embark. I don't know what the 8th edition rules are because I haven't really looked them up yet. So they have to not be in combat, obviously. Used to start the moving phase, embarked, and transport can disembark this phase. Can they then move? The count's moving, okay. So you bomb your Rhino up the board, and then you disembark. Mate, Stim, you'll be able to sell some of the like Primaris models online because those kits may not even be available in like normal blisters and stuff for a while. So that might be a way to either recoup the cost or buy more Necrons if you don't want the Primaris stuff. Like some of the things from like the last starter set, like the Commander unit and stuff, is also on eBay for like 10-20 quid. It's crazy. Okay, yeah, oh sweet. So if you want both, That's cool as well. Like, you'd have 2 armies. You can play with people, right? That's what I'm looking for, to have a Necron army. I can try and convince some friends who aren't into it yet to play with me. If a transport model is destroyed, resolve its explodability if it has one. Any units embarked within must then disembark. Roll 1d6 for each model that disembarks for each one, and one model is destroyed. Units that disembark cannot charge or perform heroic interventions this turn. Sure. Good to know. Whilst we're saying Indomitus isn't the starter set, we know this. But like the Necron force in it and the Primaris force in it are reasonable armies, right? Like, yeah, as Mr. Shai said, you can play a 500-point army out of these boxes. They've explicitly said that. Yeah, there we go. Like Mercurial Fox says, there's no individual kit for the suppressors. Are there eliminator kits? There are. I want some of these eventually. I can't with Indomitus come and pick up any more marine stuff, but the eliminators are cool. Where's the 3D? Oh, that's some sick scenery. So these were in one of the sets, weren't they? Their initial printing, as it were in one of them, weren't they? And suppressors aren't available. So what are they in? Are they in Vanguard? Because Vanguard is like a really good set if you're looking to start collecting Marines. These are suppressors up here, right? I remember reading about this for the video. Yeah. So these units up here, these 3, aren't available in anything but Vanguard. And Vanguard is sold out everywhere. Because I was like, when I realised I had eliminators and suppressors, I don't own any of this stuff. None of these models here are currently in my collection. I've got like a ton of Reavers, Aggressors, Intercessors. What other Primaris stuff have I got? Is that all the Primaris? Oh, and like characters, loads of characters and stuff. Let's see a Redemptor. So Stim, yeah, like this unit, like basically the vast majority of stuff you find in these boxes, almost, I'm sorry, like 95%, is playable on any single company or chapter. Burning Pyre, when was the last time you played those? It's been a while, right? So yeah, you can put most of these, if not all of them, into any chapter. Now there's a few exceptions. So for example, I learned that I cannot get a Thunder Fire Cannon, which is apparently a very good competitive option, because it has no line of sight. And it just fucking blasts people from across the battlefield. Blood Angels can't field this. So how it works is you have like the Space Marine Codex. So if you're looking to collect Space Marines... Oh, I didn't know they did boxed Space Marine jump packs on the site. Interesting. So this here tells you what you can get for Space Marines, right? And in there is a Thunderfire Cannon. But if you're playing a chapter that has its own book, so for example, Blood Angels, which is this book here, this book supersedes the last one. So because the Blood Angels book doesn't have a Thunderfire Cannon in it, I can't play Thunderfire Cannon. That said, I'm probably going to get one and paint it up just for completionist's sake eventually, maybe. But you could talk to a friend and say, "Oh, look, will you let me play this in my unit?" But there's only a few. Let's have a look at codexes. There's only a few chapters that have codexes, I believe. It's like Blood Angels, Dark Angels. Can we look at books? There we go. Codexes. 100 codexes. Hot fucking damn. Oh, Imperial Fists have their own codex. Ooh. Is that their Primarch or just a leader? Their Primarch's dead, right? Long dead. So, yeah, let's have a look. Blood Angels have their own codex. Black Templars have their own codex. Dark Angels, Death Watch have their own codex. So technically they're not Space Marine, right? Like, they are Space Marines, but they are very different. Grey Knights, again, super different. Imperial Fists and Iron Hands. That's how they really... Like, Iron Hands are really pushed, right? That's Torgaradon. Torgaradon? Wait, he's in the Horus Heresy book, isn't he? I swear to God, I'm listening to the audiobook of like the first Horus Heresy book at the moment. I'm sure... Spoilers, he doesn't die during the entirety of the Horus Heresy and lives another 10,000 years. So Space Wolves got their own book. Raven Guard. Black Templars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels. Deathwatch and Grey Knights are kind of like Space Marines but aren't. Salamanders. Space Wolves, Ultramarines and White Scars. So they're your chapters that have their own books, right? Iron Hands, Fists, Salamanders, Raven Guard. God, he looks like a fucking... looks like Skrillex. Fuck, when did Skrillex get his own Space Marine chapter? Ultramarines, White Scars, Salamanders, again. Iron Hands, Imperial Fists, Raven Guard and White Scars. There are tons of chapters. There's like 1,000 named ones. Might be making that number up. But these are the ones that have their own books. And this book always supersedes the previous. Got a friend who might be getting back into it once we sit down and do some painting because he's bought some minis and he's probably going to create Black Templars like he always used to. They're different dudes, but like same name. Catch you there, one too many for you. Thank you for hanging out, my friend. Tarek Torgadan, Imperial First Guy, Torgaradon. Oh, thank you, Joseph Robert Clark. I appreciate that. Yeah. I just like looking at the models. Oh, that's funny. Wait, they've got it back in stock? Oh, it comes with a fucking codex, which I don't need. Because you can't get it anywhere. Like, this box set is just not available anywhere. Oh, it's back in stock. This was not in stock when I made my video on Wednesday. What? Why has this guy got the fucking Rick and Morty portal gun on his arm? No, smuggling realm. I've got like fucking shit tons of stuff to build up and paint already. I've ground my arse off today to get the next couple of days worth of content done so I can actually do some stuff tomorrow. That's not normal specs. That's a fucking gravity gun. Come on. Also, this is a pickup soon. I don't know when, but I need it in my life. Can I just paint the Marines and Indomitus to be Space Wolves? Yes, you can. You can paint whatever chapter you want. You can make your own chapter up. Gun to 9, what do you mean in theory, yes? Explain yourself. Why are you telling new players not to paint the Marines the colours they want? Yeah, that's why I want it. It's got so many guns. So many guns. I also agree with these statements, by the way, about the hover tank stuff. Like, I believe... I mean, they've always had land speeders, so there's an argument that they've always had some sort of, like, hover unit, right? Yeah, and hover bikes have existed. I mean, jet bikes existed back in, like, the early days, right? In practice, not all the units in Indomitus might fit the Space Wolves field composition. I guess. Like, they're Marines at the end of the day. I would imagine that across... So apart from that's not in the Codex, right? And that's the problem, I guess. You might get the Space Wolves Codex. It might be, like I said, the Thunderfire cannons aren't available for Blood Angels. It might turn out that sword and board dudes aren't available for Space Wolves. It might turn out that way, but I don't know. I doubt they'd do that to the Indomitus units. But I would imagine that when you get a chapter of Marines, that if you went and got the entire chapter out to stand there, like you've got at the beginning of some of the old Codices in 3rd edition, where someone's got an entire eye painted up and it's meant to look like the entire chapter, that every Space Marine unit available would be in that chapter somewhere, right? The Blood Angels have access to heavy weapon platforms and heavy weapon tanks somewhere in their arsenal. They might just have fewer of them. Because why would they not have access to one of those toys, right? Other than perhaps the Thunderfire patterns where they haven't been given the technology by another chapter. Why would they not have? Like I've got a Helios Land Raider to build, which is the Land Raider with a big fucking rocket launcher on the back of it because it's cool. It's not very Blood Angel-y because they just want to run in and like chew their enemies' fucking throats out. But I'm still gonna build it. Yeah, they may not like using certain things, but they probably have... What I'm saying is they probably have, barring not having access to the technology, surely they'd have something in each of the categories available for, like, you know... It's a fucking Swiss Army knife for Space Marine chapter, right? So still, you won't need to buy those codices. They will just help you to play. Because I don't condone it, but there are websites that give you all the data sheets anyway. I'll go back to the rules. Yeah, the Dark Angels have an entire company of bike speeders. Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna. I think they're gonna have all the other shit available in some capacity, but not to the extent that they would in their specializations, which is Death Watch and Raven Guard, right? Aircraft models typically have a move characteristic consisting of two values. The first is the model's minimum move. And if you can't make its minimum move, it's destroyed. Okay. Models can move within an enemy's aircraft engagement range. Models can move over aircraft and their bases. I'll get some aircraft one day. Black Templars were the face of the 3rd edition, like Space Marine Codex, and I think the Codex and the main book. What's the approved chapter book, Gunter? I'm interested in that. What's that? Oh, I know what chapter approved is. Sorry. So they're doing a chapter approved on the 25th, which give us all the points list. I'm with you. So yeah, it's this stuff. Hang on. Yeah, I saw this earlier. It's this one, right? I was in the right article anyway. So we've got the box come out on the 25th. These two. So this is going to have the points values for every army updated, because every unit in the game is going up in points value, right? Sorry, Tab, it's too late for me to toot a horn now. My wife's in bed and it's 11:15. I'll give you a dab instead. Oh, dab for Tab. There we go. Dab for Tab. I'll probably pick up one of these. Oh, I might end up picking up both. Oh, the whole thing, yeah, so we'll get to that soon. That fucking painted armies get 10 more points than non-painted armies, which I think is just... I know it's to incentivize people to paint the minis because it's better advertising for the game, but come on, that seems like such a fucking gatekeeping bullshit, right? So the leather-bound thing is a journal for you to keep your information about your campaign in. It's cool and everything, but it does seem... Considering I'm buying this box and this chapter approved, I don't know if I want to have to pick up a fucking leather-bound journal at the same time, you know? So at the end of the game, for people who ask about the point thing, let's get back to the rules. At the end of the game, you figure out how many points you've got at the end of the match. And the any fully painted or tabletop ready painted army gets 10 extra points. So yeah, Tab was telling me a story before about how he wasn't allowed to play in the Games Workshop store because he didn't have more than like 2 or 3 colour paints on his Tau army. I get it, Mr. Shy. I get people like showing up with armies that have like you know. But I mean, if someone wants to spray their army, then like dry brush it and like colour the eyes and the gun, surely that's enough. Select a Psyker. Select another Psyker in your army to manifest. Yes, you just go for your Psykers, picking psychic powers to fire them off as per 8th edition. Pick a Psyker, fire for power. Pick another Psyker, fire for power. Once you're out of Psykers, spellcasters essentially for those of you watching at home. All Psykers know Smite. Smite listed here. I mean, I know it's the old thing, but I mean, does it tell us so we can read it? No. And their additional powers, due to their data sheets, how you manifest it is you select a psychic power, you can't select the same psychic power more than once per battle round. So unless you're talking about Smite, you can't have the same power cast by 2 different characters. Attempt to manifest a psychic power by taking a psychic test. The opponent can attempt to deny the psychic power by taking a Deny the Witch test, so they can try to counter that spell with their own psychic abilities. If successfully manifested, resolve the psychic power, selecting the psychic power, and so on and so on. 2d6 equals 2 or exceeds the psychic power's warp charge. Double 1s and double 6s suffer power of the warps. Deny the Witch is basically just where you roll dice and try to exceed theirs. You can't get perils of the warp on a Deny the Witch test. Is that correct, chat? Smite is a warp charge of 5, so you roll 2d6 and try to get 5 or higher. Warp charge increases by 1 for each other attempt to manifest Smite this turn. If manifested, the closest visible enemy unit in 18 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. If manifested with a psychic result of 11 plus, enemy suffers d6 mortal wounds instead. But they only get 1 block per Psychos. Deny the Witch. When Psychos' unit attempts to deny a psychic power, you must take a Deny the Witch test. That unit by 1 2d6. If the total is greater than the result of the psychic test, the Deny the Witch test is passed and psychic power is denied. Only 1 attempt can be made to deny a psychic power. If a psychic unit can deny more than 1 psychic power in a psychic phase, this will be listed on the data sheet. So most psychics can deny 1. Only 1 attempt can be made on a spell. So you can't have multiple psychics trying to power down another psycho. I wish you could. But you can't. Powers of the Warp. Psychos unit manifesting power suffers d3 mortal wounds. So that's if they roll double 1s or double 6s. If the psychic unit is destroyed, the psychic power fails to manifest. If psychic unit destroyed, every unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's new, right? The mini explosion upon being consumed by the warp. Shoot, 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 and shoot again. Select targets. Select targets for all weapons from that unit before any attacks are resolved. At least 1 model on the target unit must be visible to the attacking model within the range of the attacking weapon. If unit targets multiple units, all attacks against 1 unit must be resolved before resolving the other attacks. If a unit shoots with multiple weapons, all attacks made with weapons that have the same profile must be resolved before resolving attacks to the next. Yep, pretty straightforward. Models cannot attack with ranged weapons while the unit is within engagement range. Units cannot shoot while they are within engagement range of any enemy units. Units cannot shoot at targets within an enemy engagement range with any friendly units. Oh, so the explosion does happen in 8th. All of ranged weapons attacks must be made against the same target. All of a range, so a singular weapon has to fire at the same target. Number of attacks is number after weapons type. Sure. Big guns never tire. A vehicle or monster model can make attacks with ranged weapons even when this unit is within engagement range of enemy units. So in current 40k, if you charge a tank in melee, it turns off its guns. Yeah. So it can shoot at the enemy units that are within engagement range. In such circumstances, vehicles or monster models can target an enemy unit even if other friendly units are within engagement range of the same enemy unit. Note that if a vehicle or monster unit has more than 1 ranged weapon, you can still choose to target units that are not within engagement range of the firing model's units, but they would only be able to make the attacks with the weapon if all enemy units within engagement range of the firing model units have been destroyed when you come to resolve those attacks. So you can target, but you've got to hope the first guy kills them all before you get there. Shoot ranged weapons even within engagement range of enemy units. Can target other units but cannot resolve the attacks whilst enemy models remain within engagement range. Subtract 1 from hit rolls made when monsters and vehicles shoot heavy weapons while enemy units are within engagement range. So heavy weapons get a discount. Okay. Look out, sir. Models cannot target a unit that contains in character. Cannot shoot an enemy character within 9 or less wounds while it's within 3 inches of friendly units, monster vehicles, or units of 3+ models, unless it is the closest target. Assault can be shot even if firing model has advanced. Subtract 1 from its hit roll if the firing model is advanced. Heavy, subtract 1 from hit rolls if firing model is infantry and its unit has moved this turn. There we go, heavy's changed, right? Because it used to be any vehicle. So dreadnoughts can now just stroll up the field and fire. Right? Because when me and Nate were playing, I was like, why does my dreadnought unable to fire its fucking heavy gun? Rapid fires, double number of shots within half range. Yeah, before it was like soul of the fucking Omnisci or whatever it is. Is a Wraith Lord an infantry? Interesting. Yeah, soul of the Omnisci or whatever is the Imperium version. It's a monster. Okay, so that means it doesn't have the minus anymore. Only one model can use a grenade when its unit shoots. Pistol can be shot even if firing model units within engagement range. Cannot be shot alongside any other type of weapon. Wait. So bikers can't fire the front-mounted guns and a pistol? That seems like bullshit. I feel like vehicles didn't have armor values in the last edition either. That seems dumb. Why can't a biker fire his pistol? Was it like that in 8th as well? I haven't played with bikers yet, but... Blast weapons. Here we go. Minimum 3 attacks against units with 6+ models. Always make maximum number of attacks against units with 11+ models. So hordes get wrecked by blasts. Can never be used to attack units within its firing units within the firing units engagement range. So essentially, this combined with big guns never tire is going to make a lot of like cannons and turrets on big guns and tanks be unable to fire at melee range units. For example, this thing, which is fucking beautiful. This French fancy of fondant death can't fire its big old fucking gun. Oh, it can! Sorry, correction. It can't fire its super frag missile at something next to it, but it can fire super crack missile at something next to it. So it's like, it turns its turret down and fires one powerful missile and like blows a grot's head off, but it can't super frag them. That's really interesting. $12 auto hits on a unit of 11+ models that isn't standing next to it. But if they're standing next to it, they're going to get murdered by these flamethrowers, aren't they? So wait. Can never be used to attack units within the firing unit's engagement range. Sure. So you can't... Oh yeah, because you can never... So I guess flame pistols can't be blasted then. Yes, 12 shots. Yeah, no. Yeah, to clarify. Yeah. I may have misspoke. That's not what I meant. You don't auto hit with blast. It's two. So normally when you fire at a model, you roll 2d6 to see how many hits you make. How many hit dice you get to roll. So you go hit, wound, save. Okay. But before you hit, you need to figure out how many attacks you've got. Most guns, like this heavy super crack here, is 2, or has a number, and so does a unit has attacks. A model has attacks to attack with its close combat weapon. With the super frag, you roll 2d6 to figure out how many hits you get to roll. However, with the blast profile, if the enemy model has 6+ models, you get a minimum of 3. So if you roll snake eyes, you still get 3. And if it's 11+, you make maximum attacks. So interestingly, taking like 7 or 8 intercessors has a slight downside against blast weapons than taking 5, for example. Whereas 11 plus models, I guess, yeah, Death Company, I was going to start taking 15 model blobs. That's probably something we shouldn't be doing anymore. Because people used to feel like, 11, 20. You take 2 10-man blobs. And just fucking... Yeah. So the high cost unit armies like Space Marines used to want to take 10-man blobs now, right? To avoid the blast rule. I don't know if it's the same for like Tyranids and shit. Our leadership fucks you when you're bigger anyway, because you have a chance to take more hits. Yeah, so here's the thing then, chat and experienced 8th edition players. What stops people from like getting around this by not just taking, instead of taking a 20-man squad, they just take 10-man blobs? I guess you can't like go up to 12, 13, 14 with your extra point. Well, you can, but... Leadership. Has leadership changed? Surely leadership was worse when you were a blob. Finite number of detachments. Okay, so we talked about this earlier, Ape. So if you're playing a 2,000 point upwards game and you want to just take your standard brigade or whatever it is, you need 6 troop choices. No, leadership at 8th was based upon the number of models lost. So the thing at Death Company actually, I was reading about this, had a problem where if you took 10, 15 like blobs, you would have leadership issues for the raging, like, show no fear guys. It's dumb. The whole half strength thing. Okay, we're learning. So the whole splitting 20-man squad into 2 10-man squads isn't as good at maintaining above half strength, which is going to come up with leadership in a moment, I assume. Which is this rule up here. Starting strength and half strength. Is this the problem? And also have bonus leadership for big units. Okay, so there might be things in the data sheets that also affect this. Okay, interesting. Good. This sounds like there's a semblance of balance. Wow. Would you look at that? I love it. Okay, back to where we were. Tyranids get to reroll for the 20-man squads. Morale and leadership tests the same thing. Tab. If you're buffing units with stratagems, you also get more value for your CP. There we go, Organ. Yeah, I was thinking this actually the other day. Like, didn't think it's at all now, blanked it right now, but you get better CP if I can reroll all my 1s on a unit, or like take half damage on a unit if it's like a 10-man blob over a 5-man blob, for example. Okay, that's interesting, Joseph Robert Clark. So you're saying morale, biggest change is that it's less certain when it will matter. So in 8th, as you said before, if you killed enough models, you would know that a unit would die to morale due to modifiers. So you'd roll a d6, you'd add the number of dead models to that, and if it's above the leadership score, the unit would fucking lose models equal to the number above that. So if you had 3 guys left, and you lost 17 guys in 20-man blob, roll a d6, roll a 6 plus 17, they're just fucking dead, right? But now, you might not know if that will fail, but they are only guaranteed to lose 1 model, and you roll a dice for each other model. Yes, you roll a dice to see if they run away. Yeah, I did read about that from one of the leaks. Okay, let's get on to that. So, attacking. Hit rolls, you roll an attack. Same for shooting and same for attacking. Ballistic skill for shooting, weapon skill for attacking. And your unit will have a score, 3 plus, 2 plus, whatever. And if you roll over that, so 2 plus, 2 up, 3 plus is 3 up, you land your hit. Then you're seeing if you wound. So you look at your strength of your weapon or your character versus the opposing enemy's toughness. If the strength is twice or more than the toughness, 2 up. If the strength is greater than the toughness, 3 up. If they're equal, 4 up. If they're lower than toughness, 5 up. And if the strength is half or less than toughness, 6 up. Now, I have struggled with this a little bit. This has been a thing. If you're talking about Overwatch Comeback, Top Adjit, this has been the case for a very long time. I think this might be since 3rd edition that I've used this table, perhaps. I could be wrong. It just doesn't click with me because maths is like licorice for me, which means it's fucking evil and I can't stand it. And that's how licorice is for everyone, right? But how I've been thinking about it in my head is if you have equal strength and toughness, you have a 50% to hit, which is 4, 5, and a 6. If you have a greater strength, it goes up by 1, 3 up. If you have a lower strength, it goes down, 5 up. And then you have the extremes. Doubled is 2 up or 6 up. Either way. Does that make sense? That's how I think about it in my head. You should have huge lookup tables. Did you? I don't remember those. Yes, there was instant death rules with higher strengths, definitely. I mean, this is very simple. It just doesn't click immediately with me. But yeah, 50% if they're even. If you're advantaged, you get a +1. If you're disadvantaged, you get a -1. And if it's double, it goes either way. I remember there being a table, but wasn't the table just telling you this? What do the tables say? Let's see if I can find one. It's always 4s. It's the same thing. That's Dark Imperium. That's this set, right? No, all these charts are 8th ed. All these charts are 8th ed. I can't find the old one without really looking into it. How do I feel about old Marines versus Primaris? I love old Marines. The new Marines look fucking sick though. Like, it's hard to argue that the aesthetic and the build of them isn't cool. It does feel annoying that they're like kind of retconning out the old ones but not like committing to it, saying they're still going to stick around, but... Okay, so the old tables, according to F3, used to give you like instant rules if you were significantly over the strength or toughness. Okay. And the Cure of Vox as well. You couldn't wound sometimes. Okay. Yeah, top up PC, that's the thing, that's the default that I go to as well, but like, new isn't always worse. So you allocate, hit roll, wound roll, allocation. If an attack successfully wounds the target unit, the player commanding the target unit allocates the attacks of one model in that target unit. If, by the way, you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, or you're watching this sat here like lurking, and you're like, this is too complicated, it really isn't that complicated. Reading it on a piece of paper right now, chilling with me, is way more complicated than just fucking rolling the dice and like, and just going through this document like turn order. So much easier once you get to play it. Hit roll, wound roll, allocate attack. Player commanding target unit selects one model of that unit. If a model in that unit has already lost wounds or has already had attacks allocated to it this phase, they must select that model. Saving throw. If results less than the save of the selected model, the saving throw has failed and it suffers damage. Inflict damage, the selected model loses number of wounds equal to the attack's D. Oof, I love my attack's D. If a model is destroyed by an attack, any excess damage inflicted by the attack is lost. So what this means, this is something I learned. If you have a hammer, let's say, I don't think it exists in the game, but you know, it's strength and wounds doesn't matter, but let's say it's got damage 6. So once you've hit, you've wounded, and they failed their save, you do 6 damage on one attack. At first I thought, oh, you do 6 damage, I'll kill a 6-man squad of 1 wounds. It doesn't. That's one attack on 1 man. And you hit them and do 6 and they die. The Thunder Hammer is the thing I'm thinking of. You have 3 damage per hit. So you'd swing, you'd land 3 hits on like a 10-man squad, and you'd only kill 3 of those guys. It's interesting. It's interesting. Mortal wounds do roll over, did they, Chronologues? Hello, Monogorific, and thank you, my friend. Yeah, you can compare it to Trample. You wound a model and then do damage. You wound a model, then do damage. Like, imagine wounding them with a hammer and then doing damage to them. You wound the model, then do damage. Hey, I'm back. After discussing it, my girlfriend said we could start 40k. Is there any cute figures? Are there any cute figures? Can we find something cute for sushi? Let's go through the rules, then we can have a look on the official website and obviously find them cheaper elsewhere. But have a look through. Cool. Fit damage. Invulnerable save. Saving throws that are never modified by attacking weapons AP. Model has an invulnerable save. It can use it instead of normal saving. Sure. Ooh, orcs. Orcs? Squigs. Yeah, maybe. Tau are very soft in terms of aesthetic. They're very fresh and nice. Some attacks inflict mortal wounds. They're so powerful that no armor or force field can withstand their fury. Each mortal wound inflicts 1 point of damage on the target unit, and they are always applied 1 at a time. Do not make a wound roll or saving throw, including invuln saves, against a mortal wound. Just allocate it as if you would do any other attack. Inflict damage to a model in the target unit. Unlike damage inflicted by normal attacks, excess damage from mortal wounds is not lost. Instead, keep allocating damage to another model in the target unit until all the damage has been allocated or the target unit is destroyed. It's quite simple to remember and understand. It's a mortal wound. Like I said, you wound and then do damage. This is a mortal wound, 1 damage. Mortal wound, 1 damage. So if you mortal wound 3 times and this guy's got 2 wounds and this guy's got 1, he took 2 mortal wounds and dies, and this guy dies. Where if you wound once with a 3 damage weapon, you're wounding the first guy and doing 3 damage to him, and the 1 damage guy survives. I hope that's clear. That's pretty clear. The Great Unclean one is my... Yeah, the Great Unclean one is where it's at. Sushi, check this out. This is what you need to get. Not that. Ignore that. That's not cute. Great Unclean one. Here we are. The cutest boy. I say boy. I'm not sure if it's gendered, to be honest. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at it. I do want to build one of these one day. Maybe that could be a video project. Nurglings are kind of cute. These little guys down here. Wait. There we go. There we go. Nurglings. Also, you can get these cheap if you can get old starter set stuff, right? Were they in... I might be making this up. Were they in Dark Imperium? I don't know if squigs are cute. Squigs are the little like ball things that orcs fuck around with. That's a model I haven't seen in a long time. That's a renewed model though. This is from Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar now. Squig. Squig hoppers do make me happy. These are Age of Sigmar though. What's the 40k version of squigs? Spider Riders still exist? Oh god, we're down a rabbit hole of fucking Age of Sigmar now, aren't we? Oh, these are gross. Sorry if you're into spiders, kids. Or not into spiders. They're wandering on fucking spiders. It's crazy. let's get away from that. Not hugely keen. Squigs, Grotlings. So that's Grots. What's Snotlings? Gretchens are. Is there no Snotling models? Okay. Bloody just came up. Gretch. There we go. Look at these bad boys with their fucking... This guy here with his Magnum, he's so intense. Grotlings and Gretchens are the same. Oh, I see. Oh, it goes Gretchens are the small little goblins, and then Snotlings are the slaves that like maintain their farms and stuff. And here we go. This war boss here has got a squig as well. Tank busters. Good shout, smuggling rum. Oh, no way! They stick dynamite on a squig and send it in? Fuck, that is cruel. Does the Imperium steam tank still exist? This is a thing I used to see in White Dwarf all the time as a kid, and I was like, it's a pretty cool model, to be fair. There it is on an old base too, right? Oh my god, that's fucking cool. Look at that. Yeah, the Cherubin, hang on, Squig Launcher. Is that a thing still? What's the Squig Launcher called? A boom squig is a comedy punchline ape. The Death Company are a tragic story of sacrifice. Oh, it's a Forge World model. Okay. Down the rabbit hole we go, chat. Down the rabbit hole we go. Look at them. I fucking love dreadnoughts. They get me hot under the collar. Squig. Oh, double G is... I don't want double G, I just want G. What is that? Are they farming that squig? Oh, fuck, that is so cool. Man, that is cool. Yeah, Nekon's got some new boys, haven't they? But more importantly, where's my boy? I do want a Leviathan Dread at some point to get one. Here he is. Chunkmaster Captain. Got this downstairs ready to go. Oh, look at the decoration on that boy. Look at his little golden knee. I'm going to be having mine ran as a relic version because the relic version's much harder. Yeah, so the plastic... Okay, let's talk about this for a second. This was something I looked up because I was like, oh, surely I could get this cheaper one. Ugh, even the paint job is bad. I shouldn't say that. So, this one is being nice to it because... Okay, this one is misleading. So this one is cheaper, comes with the arms, looks nice and everything, right? But look, when you look here, it's not, the recess isn't even fully carved in. Also, you can't pose either the legs or the arms, and it comes with one gun difference, I think. And this is flat. Meanwhile, the Forge World one comes with like you can move the head, I believe. I haven't got it fully out. Yes, so I'm scrubbing it down tomorrow morning. Adjustable arms, adjustable legs. Like Kirioth did a video of this, and he talked about how this is the worst value model in the entirety of Warhammer 40k because you're paying £35 for like a single like. Like, look at it. It doesn't even look dynamic. It looks. Oh, this is gonna sound like a bit pompous. It looks cheap compared to these, right? Like, it is obviously cheaper, 35 compared to like 38 plus the arms and stuff. But the model come painted, no, hell yeah, demon. This, when I put it together, is gonna look like this tomorrow. That is very true. The resin is a pain in the arse. Could have bubbles and scratches and stuff. I picked up 2 arms, an assault cannon and a plasma cannon. The 2 arms, because if you put 2 melee weapons on it, and it's a relic contemptor, it gets to re-roll its wands on attacking when it wades in and attacks. It's a blood angels like 5 or 6 times or whatever it is. But I played it against Ape, I just stuck it downfield and it never got into combat. Sellings list unpainted for £410. Fucking hell. Tab, those words all don't mean things to me. The Mordor stealth fighter. Huh, cool. Is that just like a aerial unit, like a mini aerial unit? XV107. Do it, Tab. It does look cool. See, I love dreadnoughts. That's one of the things that draws me to Tau a little bit. KX139. KX139. Oh boy, is this their Titan? Is this their, not Titan, their Knight? Come on, where's it next to an army for scale? What the fuck? Oh, there you go, next to a dude. So that's the War Dog equivalent then, is it? Holy fuck. It's £1,000. Fucking cool though. Fuck off. That is not a thing. You slide the back off. It's got the pilots and like a guy in a chair and like fire warriors hanging out. That is fucking insane. It's got droppable like battles. How big is this? That's fucking beautiful. Oh, it's the size of a table, is it? So is it playable? Imagine buying this and spreading contrast paints all over it and just fucking murdering it. You can play a small points game on the back of a Manta. That's really cool. Imagine a game of Kill Team on the back of a Manta. This is the ultimate Kill Team board, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I should do a 5 things to do if you've got infinite money. Oh, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? Like, oh, fucking hell. If someone wants to donate a Manta to me, I will paint it up and make a Kill Team video on the back of it. And it will be the most decadent Kill Team video you've ever seen. Does it come with these tanks, or do you have to buy the tanks and put them inside it? Are those tanks playable? Could you, like, slide them out? Hierophant? Yeah, this thing's pretty big. Makes a Carnifex look like a little boy. I do like the Mastodon. I do want to get a Leviathan at some point. This is also a heinous looking fucking... It looks like it's about to insert itself in between your army, and by that I mean it's going to blow a hole in it, right? The Primarch range, I don't know yet. I'm not sold so much. Fuck, I love Dreadnoughts. Why is there so many painted pictures of this with no arms? What the fuck is that about? I thought when I first saw this, I thought, are these like rockets? Does it have like psychic tentacles or some shit? Forge World Great Unclean One. Oof. At least the air bubbles then are part of the look, right? Stormborn are really cool looking, aren't they? Look at the fucking size of that thing. Right. More wounds. Can only use one rule to attempt to ignore wound save. We know that. Back to this then, chat. Let's get the rules finished, because I want to know about charging and morale, because it's changed, right? Declare targets for the charge. So you pick a unit that's within 12 inches of your unit. You roll 2d6. If you achieve the distance, or the roll of the distance between you and that unit, you succeed. I know, just Kadekophobia. The Custodies interest me because of my love for dreads. If insufficient to move charging into engagement range of all targets, charge fails and you don't move at all. If charge successful, model makes their charge move, cannot make a charge move within engagement range of any unit as not the target of the charge. Heroic intervention. Select one character unit to perform a heroic intervention. Cannot perform a heroic intervention if any enemy units are in engagement range. Must be an enemy unit within 3 inches horizontal and 5 inches vertical to perform a heroic intervention. Select another character unit to perform a heroic intervention, and so on and so on and so on. So you do that after charging. Wait, what do you mean for Mercurial Vox? I'm confused. You can charge different units? This is very different, similar to 8. They're very similar. Right, yeah, as long as they're within unit coherency, you mean, yeah? Let's read it. Once you've chosen an eligible unit to declare a charge with, you must select one or more enemy units. Yes, this is good for Blood Angels. Within 12 inches of the target of its charge. The target of this charge does not need to be visible to the charging unit. They make a charge roll for a unit of 2d6. This is the maximum number of inches each model on the charging unit can now be moved if they make a charge move. To make a charge move, the unit's charge roll must be sufficient that it is able to end that move in unit coherency and within engagement range of every unit that has a target of its charge without moving within engagement range of any enemy units that were not a target of its charge. So it's probably the same as it is now, apart from you, if there's 2 units, then you can split your squad between the 2. That's it, right? That's it. Heroic interventions. I haven't performed one yet myself, but it allows characters to just basically kind of pile in. Models can make or move freely over terrain features 1 inch or less or high. Models cannot move through taller terrain features. They can climb during it. It used to be that if you declared multiple units as charge targets and your roll would only allow you to reach one of them, it was still successful. Now you must get within range of every target. Okay. Overwatch. Before charging rolls are made, all charged targets can fire Overwatch can do so. Can never fire Overwatch with enemy units or engagement range. When firing Overwatch, shoot with units, but attacks only hit on 6s. It doesn't say about having to spend CP though. Oh, certain rules enable units to fire Overwatch. Okay, so something's got to enable it. Okay. Well, it used to be that you always got to shoot. Starting with the opponent. Alternate selecting units to fight with. Alternate. Ooh, okay. Dark Angels are moody, broody boys who once fell to chaos and try to hide it. Blood Angels are just incredibly violent, blood-drinking psychopaths. Yeah, Dark Angels are all about, like, they keep all the books and the secrets and interrogation and hoods to cover your face. Blood Angels are more almost romantic period, filigree and golden nipples and punching. The Blood Angels also, the Dark Angels are all about vehicles and ornate Terminator armor, while the Blood Angels are all about more ornate armor and getting into the fight. Catholic space vampires? Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, carry on. You're not wrong, but like the word aesthetic, I'm gonna be a pedant here and be a bit pedantic, but the word aesthetic there, it can mean a lot of things. So like chaos are aesthetic in the way they kill stuff, where they're like sticking fucking heads and spikes and whirling chains and being crazy. Like aesthetic is just generally like a visual style, if you will. So most of the races in 40k are aesthetic in what they do. What you're looking for is what I'm saying is a lot of people use the word aesthetic too much, should I say. So you engage with it, like, what is the aesthetic? Like I said, it's a bit of romanticism. There's Roman Catholic iconography. There is a lot of gold, blood motifs and that sort of shit. Got out my own 40k stuff after about 5 years of it sitting in the cupboard, now putting together a Mechanicus Combat Patrol. Oh yes! That's cool, carry on. And like, yeah, I'm not ripping on you. Just like helping us all to get better at everything we can, I guess. Sanguinius had better hair than the Emperor. He was a poet bishy boy. Yeah, Sanguinius, for people who don't know, let's talk about that real quick. This is the Primarch. The Primarchs are the progenitors, the people who each chapter are birthed from. And here we have Sanguinius. 8 foot tall. He's basically just Angel from X-Men, but a bit harder. And yeah, leopard print cloak, golden armor. What a tit. but they aren't playable in 40k. He gets killed. So during 30k, during the Horus Heresy, spoiler alert, I'm currently listening to one of the audiobooks, but spoiler alert, he gets murdered by Horus, another one of his brothers, one of the Primarch of the Lunar Wolves, I believe he is. Yeah, when he's defending the Emperor. Oh yeah, he has actual wings. He was born with wings. I think in the canon, most Blood Angels have tiny, like, useless wings where they've got some sort of mutation growth from him. Okay, yeah, but I mean, it's still murder. It's still murder. I looked at some of the Primarch's stats on, like, Wikipedia, and they're just insane. I think he attacked, like, 9 times or something insane like that. Maybe I should get one and paint it like a ghost. You know, the ethereal green thing people do. And have it over my armies if he's watching down on them. I don't think Archmains or Dark Angels were the first. Oh, Time War says Dark Angels were. I'm not going to get too down the 30k rabbit hole here. It would be a bit dumb if I kit bash my Sanguinius out of him, because A, he's too big. He's like him himself is way bigger than even a Primaris. Thank you, Agent Ozone, and welcome with that, friend. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Yeah, I'll show you all a bit of what I'm doing for kit bashing. So, is it Knight? Oh, that's cool. I want to Blood Angel firing that off. So I've got one of these. Okay. Because, and I want to probably do some pictures on Instagram and talk about this in a video when I've done it. This is Sanguinor. Sanguinor is like a potentially a psychic manifestation of like half of Sanguinius's spirit and fighting face and force, right? Model was okay, but it's old looking. It's quite small because it's original marine built proportions. And I kind of want to make my own. So I've got one of these. I'm going to use the wings. And I'm probably going to use the helmet. Although I might sand off the face and put a death mask on of Sanguinius. So I've got some left over from one of these. One of these masks. Or I've got some spare heads of these, so I might just end up using one of their heads. But I really like this crest. Same wings. I love this lantern too, but I don't think I can use the lantern as well. He needs a sword, so I might use this sword, but I've also got like this sword here, which is two-handed. It's two hands holding it like that, and the blade comes out to the side, so we're going to have that as a sword. Or I might have a power sword in one hand and him holding a blood goblet in the other, like this. So yeah, that. The legs are going to be these legs here. This leg's here. I've got some of them from my Bits website coming. Still hasn't arrived, so I can't do this tomorrow. And the chest, I might just use a Primaris Reaver chest, but in gold. I've got that spare as well. So he looks a bit more modern. This like flat Primaris grenades, because he's got, oh no, Sanguinor doesn't have grenades. So actually I don't want to use that. I might use that for my Smash Captain then. Time War, that might still work. That might still work. But I also picked up, for my kit bashing purposes, I picked up this box. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing with them. There we are, Sequitors. I got it way cheaper than this, thanks to eBay. So the shield has a hammer on it and an anvil. So my next Smash Captain, who's going to be in Death Company Regalia, is going to have one of these shields. He's going to have an actual like 40k power hammer, but one of these shields. And I might be able to use one of these helmets. I might be able to use this helmet for the Sanguinor. And then I want to try and do some of these guys to be like veterans for the army. So give them Space Marine helmets and Space Marine guns and arms. But yeah. I also like the fact that these have got like, I mean, they've painted them as well, some people of colour. I love this dude with like his old beard. The Blood Angels are eternally youthful from drinking blood, but I might make my Smash Captain like just a beardy old dude. How am I going to make him with a ripped breastplate? I probably won't, I don't think. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't decided yet. I could just use the original breastplate I just showed, right? Hey, Billy Elders and Space Wolves. Yeah, no, I get it, but I mean, like, you can have... I'm not heavily set into the law of having to have it exactly like it. I don't believe that, but they just can't have fucking beards, right? Maybe I use his chest piece. Marine legs, marine helmet, marine arms. But I've got a spare eagle now. This lantern is really cool. I'm going to have to put this lantern on somebody. Huh, that's really cool. And like, you can see, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably should. Will it load? Because it's probably a better way of showing you the image. Yeah, these are my sanguinary guard that I've made. Oh, you bastards. You fucking bastards. Full face cam. See, it's called it. And I really like how the wings have come out. The blue underlayer and a white sheen. I'm scared about transporting them for a game this weekend because I haven't got a decent carry case yet. So yeah, that's that. So starting with your opponent, alternate selecting units to fight with. When a unit fights, it piles in and then it makes close combat attack, then it consolidates. So starting with a player whose turn it is not taking place, the players must alternate selecting an eligible unit from their army and fighting with it. An eligible unit is one that is within engagement range of an enemy unit and or made a charge move in the same turn. If neither player has eligible units to fight with, the fight phase ends. Yeah, I'm going to be magnetising a lot of stuff I can, but like a lot of stuff I've initially but hasn't been magnetised. So the charge units get to fight first still. Okay, cool. As I said, that's a big debuff to Blood Angels if that wasn't the case. Oh, that's a point. Let's check something. Catch you later, Tab. Catch you later, my friend. Just need to order some model magnets that are a bit bigger. Make my decision in a moment. I think I need to get some 6mm round ones. Hello, Wave does MTG. Welcome, welcome. So, units that made a charge with this turn fight before all other units. And then your opponent gets to choose them and you get to alternate. That's good. You can go back and forth a little bit. It's a bit of back and forth. Piling in, you move them 3 inches. This is a piler move. Each model of the unit must finish its piler move closer to the closest enemy model. A model that is already touching enemy models cannot move, but still counts as having piled in. Make your attacks. Which model fights? A model can fight if it's engaged with ranges an enemy unit. A model can fight if it's within half an inch of another model from their own unit that is within half an inch of the enemy unit. So that's when they're all piled into two ranks fighting over each other. And attacks is the A statistic on your data sheet. Targets, yep. Each close combat attack is made with a melee weapon. A model makes attacks using the close combat weapon profile. It has no other melee weapon. If a unit attacks with multiple weapons, all attacks made with this weapon that have the same profile must be resolved before resolving each attack. Cool. Cool. Hello, Duck33. That's all pretty normal. Morale. They alternate taking morale tests for units from their army that have suffered casualties this turn. If one player has no more units left to make morale tests, their opponent then takes the morale tests to the main units one at a time. Once your units have done, progress to unit coherency checks. D6 plus the number of models destroyed this turn. You roll it. Unmodified rolls of 1 or was a success. If morale tests exceed unit's leadership, one model flees. The other models must take combat attrition tests. Roll 1d6 for each remaining model in the unit. For each one additional model flees. Subtract 1 from the combat attrition tests if a unit is below half strength. I have, Ravenlord. I've been chatting about the tea cake with a vengeance. Remove models from units in your army that are not in unit coherency. Once all out of coherency models have been removed, the morale phase ends. Thank you, Inquisitor Jesus. I appreciate it, and thanks for popping in. It's really cool. Thank you. Missions. So you muster, you read briefing, create the battlefield, deploy forces, determine first turn, resolve pre-battle rules, begin the battle. Oh, thanks for your Twitch sub as well. I appreciate it as well. Thank you, my friend. Your 8th new sub today, and I appreciate it, even if you're not into the Warhammers. But all hobbies are equal here, unless it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Although if Konami want to pay me to go to Paris again, I'll go. Moving on. Each mission will tell you when the battle ends. Determine the victor. Each mission will tell you what you need to do in order to win the game. Objective markers. 40mm round markers. I'm going to make some of my own with some like resources on them that you can capture, if that makes sense. Or maybe even flags. Modeling range of objective markers is within 3 inches horizontally. Objective markers controlled by players with most models in range. Aircraft and fortifications cannot control objective markers. So this bad boy cannot just land on an objective and control it. Mwah, that's good, because otherwise that'd be fucking stupid, right? Some units have abilities called objective secured. A player controls an objective marker if they have any models with this ability within range of that objective marker, even if there are more enemy models within range of that objective marker. Cool. Oh, you're a huge 40k fan as well. Yes, my friend. Town, Equans, Eldar, and Space Wolves. I mean, you picked the inferior close combat Marine chapter, but I'll let you off. Only war. Combat patrol. Power level. Fuck off. Stellar Warlord. Capture control. At the end of each player's command phase, the player's turn it is scores 1 victory point. It's the beginning of the turn, basically, for each objective marker they currently control. Players control objective markers as described on page 24. In addition, if one player controls more objective markers than their opponent does at the end of the battle, they score an additional point. That's for this mission, so these vary in what they do. Cool. 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 That, my friends. Oh, hello, merchant. It's you who's attacking people for playing Xenos. That's the core rules. That's it. Straightforward. Quite simple. Yeah. You know what bugs me most about power level? For some reason they give the combined value to you, or for you and your opponent's army, instead of just giving you a here's what. Oh, 50 divided by 2. That's fucking stupid. Power level's dumb. Power level's fucking stupid, and I don't understand why they keep pushing it. Sick. I want me one of those cupcakes. I want me one of those cupcakes. Yeah, I think I want to push people to play more Xenos races, right? Like, the Imperium can't be the predominant force of all times. I know I'm over here playing my childhood army of Blood Angels. If I was to collect a Xenos, I want to collect a Xenos, but I need to wait until I've got a bigger home. More space to put things down. Oh, Merchant's all about the fucking orcs. Will they be releasing new codex after 9th, or will it be safer to pick up the latest orc codex? There will be new codices. We just don't know when, Gups. There'll be some this year. Like, there's meant to be a lead up to Christmas. There's new detachments that suggest there's going to be like more Primarchs coming back, so we're going to see some more Space Marine shit probably. Admech are just fucking Necrons for cowards. I'm going to build that small Necron force and maybe add like one more thing to it. And then, yeah, that'll just be a small Necron force that I've got to play with or have friends play with. But I don't think I want Necrons to be my Xenos. I think I want Tyranid or Eldar. Like, let's look at some model ranges before I head off. This is new, right? Is that ancient alien race? It's an old model. I think I've never seen it before. Is that just a really good angle? Does it slide out? Catan, that's it, yeah, they're the old aliens, right, that like fucking imprisoned them. PITA? What does that mean? PITA? Pain in the ass, right. Isn't the machine god like a bit all up in the air what he might be? Might be a Catan? Doom Scythe. Let's have a look inside the Indomitus box. Doom Croissant. What are the Grey Knights getting in New Ed? Use the stratagem in any phase. Select one Grey Knight Terminator unit from your army until the end of the phase. When resolving an attack by a model on that unit, add 1 to the hit roll. The baby carriers are awful. Like, I love myself Dreadnoughts, right? Dreadnoughts, sorry. I hate this. I really dislike the Eldar one. That thing there. Right, let's start collecting in Craftworlds. I've got a real fucking bone to pick with this box. What the fuck? Okay, I've joked about it in videos, but honestly, so many of them. I forget that I'm looking at 40k. Start collecting Craftworld. Right, look. I'm not gonna big rant. My wife's in bed. I don't want to wake anyone up. But let's just take a moment, right? Wraithguard, cool. I hate the fact that I haven't been able to kill the fucking things for putting in tape. Right? Wraith Lord, cool. And this is a Farseer or a Warlock? What is this? Fuck. Farseer, cool. Right? What the fuck is this piece of shit at the back? No, not this, this, no. Oh, come off it. What is that? Look at its fucking legs. This little hooven, backwards bending bollocks. It's awful. I think it is literally one of my least favourite 40k models at this point. Like, compare it again. A Kiriath video I was watching this morning was talking about this, and he didn't like it, but I think he was a bit soft on it. Like, it is just the worst. New marine leaks. Interesting. Should I talk about leak stuff or not? That's the question. Yeah, we can have a quick glance at it. This goes cool, this goes cool. Abe, you said this is good value, did you say? £55. And bearing in mind, you can probably get £45. What you got to remember about a lot of the start collectors, I need to talk about my videos, I keep fucking forgetting to mention it. So they use these to sell old sprues they can't get rid of. Because no one is buying that, for example. Right? So we've got Wraith Lord at 3250. Can we see the sprues here? Does it show us that it's the full customizable one? Well, it's got a sword and one art. It's only got a sword in these art. The War Walker can fuck off. So, Wraith Lord. Wraith Guard. 3250. Farseer. Was it a Warlock? It's a Warlock, isn't it? No, it is a Farseer. £17.50. I don't really want to look it up, but we'll look anyway. £22. What? Oh my god! It's just a prancing fucking gazelle, isn't it? And that's not what upsets me. I hate the idea of prancing. It just looks fucking stupid. I don't know if are these knife head leaks real? Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's just point costs. Where are veterans jump packs? Vanguard veteran squad. 19 points per model. What are they now? 14 plus a jetpack. 3. So that's 17. So each Vanguard is going up by 2 points. Okay. And then we've got the blast weapon update as well. Has everyone seen this? So this, chat, is a supposed leak that of all the guns that are becoming plasma weapons. No, sorry, plasma weapons, sorry. Becoming blast weapons. Including plasma cannons, plasma grenades, prism cannons. Why isn't the Onslaught Gatling gun becoming one? Should you just spray it in the random direction and get there, right? There's not a huge amount to talk about in terms of the leaks, right? It is crazy how much they give love to the Marines, isn't it? I think All Spectacular gives good info on it. I think he could try and spice his content up a little bit. It's a bit dry. It's like chewing on sawdust. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I have no problem with the guy. Can you imagine him and I collabing? I'd be like trying to get love out of a stone. Yeah, I've noticed he puts out a lot of videos. I still don't even know if it's the correct thing to do is to put out multiple videos in one day. I've always found that it drowns the audio videos. That's YouTube short talk. Okay, I'm interested. Oh yeah, there have been over 100 main branch Space Marine models releases since the latest 200 model release. Wow. Wow, that's insane. But I mean, to be fair, if your video is just, and again, I mean this in a not a completely derogatory way like it sounds, like it is a criticism, but it's a constructive criticism. If your video is just a slide with you talking over it, it's very easy to edit and put that stuff together. Yeah, I don't know. As a content creator, I expect a bit more effort. I feel bad when I do a talking head video with editing. Right, I think I'm going to call it there. What are my impressions of this? I'm trying to process it a little bit. So it's just 8th edition, but Overwatch has changed. Points totals have changed. Charging has changed slightly. Morale has changed significantly. And unit coherency makes more sense now. Aircraft has changed, I guess, but again, I have no experience with aircraft, so I kind of glossed over that. And tanks. Tanks are better now. I say that, but the blast weapon profile of... Oh, speaking of which... I guess my Helios launchers are... There's a Forge World update coming out, isn't there? Because it's really funny, I've got this Forge World stuff, and now this one... Helios. So I don't get all my auto hits on large units, but I get to fire it in close combat on the Helios launcher. Hang on. Yeah, I assume it's going to be a blast weapon. Yeah, I've also heard about this Mercurial where it's not the same people making the rules for the Forge World stuff. A friend of mine told me anecdotally that some places they won't let you play more than one Forge World model per army in like certain clubs and stores. Or two. Because they're just considered like busted and pay to win. Right, let's go and raid another Warhammer streamer today. Oh, someone's painting some... Oh, those look like Blood Angels, but... Right, everyone get on board. Right, kids, thanks for hanging out. There'll be another video tomorrow, and the next day. Until then, be good to one another, and I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now. Get in the raid. Get in the raid. Get in the fucking raid. Come on, let's level these 50 people. Come on. Yeah, that's it. 65, 67. Oof. Yeah, that's it. Tickle my stink.